We all know about monster collecting games. Back in the 1970s, we saw the dawn of the genre with the huge classic that was Firstomon, the grandfather of all monster collecting games that would follow. Apparently, Nintendo got feeling, and when they saw that Firstomon was a huge success in the Baltics, with over 130 copies sold for the classic Texas Instruments TI 2500, they came up with a little clone of their own called Pokémon. Apparently, this clone is somewhat of a good seller, and if my sources are correct, Pokémon has sold at least a few thousand copies up to date. In 2017, boom, cue Nexomon. The first one was released for the computer machines and the telephones. Now we've come up to the historic moment of an extinction event, mass extinction or biotic crisis in the world of Nexomon with Nexomon Extinction. This game comes out for the Switch, the PS4, the Xbox and the PC. When the game begins, you pick up the story that some sort of evil dragon dude called Omnicron was brutally bludgeoned to death, and now it's time for the player character to finally become a tamer. Which, by the way, is what would be called a trainer in Pokémon. Rather quick, you get thrown into a pretty intricate story where you first get ambushed by a huge ass dragon Nexomon, meet an invisible girl that gives you a fresh starter Nexomon of your choice out of 9 available, all based on different elements, by the way, and finally get saved by a ghost. No one said this was a slow start. See, that's the thing with Nexomon Extinction. It might have quite a few similarities with Pokémon, and that's fine. All of us that review it will talk about that. Heck, you even knew that would be somewhat the same when you started watching this review, didn't you? What we have to focus on now is what Nexomon Extinction does differently, and that's definitely in the story department. The writers and script designer, whatever they're called, must have had their fair share of work to do, because there's quite a meaty storyline here, and you quickly get thrown from one mission checkpoint to the other, with numerous side quests in between. The similarities between the games are obvious from time to time, but myself, I forgot about it after giving the game a proper play, and a lot of that is thanks to the story and the narrative. I really love Pokémon Sword and Shield by all my heart, and I have put close to 300 hours into them. But if we could compare Pokémon Sword and Shield with this game, the storyline of Sword and Shield would be Star Wars Episode 1 compared to A New Hope. Not too much to hänga in the julgran, as we would say in Sweden. The only downside with this game really is the way battles work, as well as catching of the Nexomon. The battles are more challenging than those in Pokémon, which sometimes gets pretty tedious, and you usually end up with a rather immobilized team. When you want to heal your Nexomon, you usually don't have any potions at hand. If you're still alive and want to catch those little suckers, you often find out that you're all out of those Nexotraps that you catch the Nexomon with. The collecting of Nexotraps and potions is somewhat of an endless grind, and a lot of the time I can't catch the Nexomon because I used all 5 Nexotraps I was strapping on some simple low-level bastard of a creature. Don't get me wrong, the battles are challenging and fun, but slightly tuned away from the battles in Pokémon, which makes them a tiny bit more tedious than probably necessary. On the other hand, if you think that the battles of Pokémon are too basic, you're welcome. The 2D style of Nexomon Extinction is excellent. In many ways, it kinda reminds me of an early Pokémon game with some added cream on top, or even a Zelda game. I also think that the design of the Nexomon is worth mentioning. You have close to 400 Nexomon to collect and tame, and although some of the Nexomon reminds of some of the Pokémon Affair deal, the majority of them are kind of unique and are well designed. All the similarities aside, This is a super solid contender to the monster collecting genre, and I think with a meaty story, beautiful graphics and price that lets you buy 3 Nexomon Extinction per Pokémon Sword or Shield, this is a no-brainer. Check out Nexomon Extinction on the eShop or buy it physical from your regular video game pusher. Until next time, stay safe, stay gold and keep your head down.